I mean, at least that first row probably.
Or do you think it's too inconvenient for the candidates? Because it might mess up your video too.
No, this will see in lower light. It'll be okay. Like if all the light behind us was still on, it would be okay.
Okay, so I gotta remember to post it then,
Yeah, text it now.
but not now. I'm gonna wait to do it.
Well, it's already. I have it on right now, but I'm the only one watching it, so it should be fine. You should post. You just post it whenever you're ready.
I want to do it whenever I'm posting this on.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally.
Do you have any water? Do we have any water?
There's a ice chest up there next to the popcorn machine.
Okay. Oh, she's sitting over there visiting with a friend.
Okay, I think I won't need I will need the flags.
Yeah, which is just the next one. I can change it whatever.
Okay, so, but right now I'm just going to make some copies. So we'll need the flags now.
Okay. $7:20. Should we get ready to make announcements yet? Not yet. In a minute you can. Looks fine.
Still see everything?
Yep.
It's not too dark?
Not at all.
Collin County GOP. He's actually our vice chairman for Collin County GOP. He will be moderating the forum tonight. He's from McKinney, so he doesn't know any of you here in Blue Ridge, but I wanted somebody who was unbiased and wasn't involved in Blue Ridge politics, so that's why I asked him to come and host this tonight. And then we also have Jeremiah Hyman. He's going to be videotaping this evening, and we will, a little bit later, not now, but we will be live streaming. All right, so this is not a debate. This is just a forum of questions. And how we came up with these questions were based on things that we overheard at council meetings, past council meetings, questions that were brought up there, also chatter on some of the Blue Ridge Facebook pages, and just people who are We are not taking any questions from the audience, but you're free to meet with your candidates in between, after this event, because we have 30 minutes of meeting time as well after the event. And you can get their contact information as well. I also want to thank Sabrina and Alex Gamble because they've been really instrumental in helping me get the word out. And helping with the registration table as well. So thank you so much, Sabrina and Alex. And is there anything Jeremiah to speak? I guess at this point then, I would like to ask Alex to come up to the stage, and we're going to have the prayer. And then after that, followed by the pledges.
Heavenly Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thank you for your marvelous works today. Thank you for this wonderful evening, bringing community together to function in unison under your divine authority, to replicate your image here on earth, to advance your kingdom, expand your rule in this world through our individual and joint cause. We request tonight heavenly intervention to compassionately, righteously, sacrificially, to seek the well-being of others and each other. Father God, you are the Alpha and the Omega, and in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. So I need to put up the slide with the American flag, even though we do have the American flag here. Okay, so we're going to say the Pledge of Allegiance together. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, now we're going to do the Texas flag.
You know.
Do you want to say? You sound like you really know.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one indivisible.
Okay, at this time, let's go ahead and take your seats.
Go over one more.
And as I said before, Stephen Callis from Collin County GOP will be the moderator tonight. Let's see, I don't know if you need to, if there's any, I guess I'm going to let you tell the audience how this is going to go. Thank you, Steve.
Okay, so if you excuse me, I'm going to take my jacket off. It's much better being outside than Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start off with each candidate is going to have 3 minutes to kind of talk about themselves, why they're running, and kind of what motivates them to get involved. And once that's complete, we're going to move on to some questions. Now, all the candidates have been given the general idea of what we're going to be talking about. The goal is to have a conversation about going forward, not spend time attacking or talking negatively or anything like that. So if you are expecting a debate or fireworks, I hope you're going to be disappointed. And then when we conclude, they'll be given another 3 minutes for any last minute thoughts or anything they'd like to clarify or add, as well as providing contact information that they're comfortable sharing. So with that being said, please tell the audience about yourself and why you're running for the Blue Ridge City Council. Who would like to start?
I'll start. My name is Linda Brawley. I've been a resident of Blue
for 25 years. I've raised my children here, my grandchildren are being raised here, and I hope one day my great-grandchildren will be raised here. I am retired. I enjoy spending time learning new things and having new challenges. For example, one of my biggest challenges was in my mid-40s, I decided it was time to go to college. I said, gave myself a goal of 4 years to complete my college degree. And not only did I complete it within the 4 years, I graduated magna cum laude with a 3.9 GPA. If I start something, I'm serious about it, and I will do a good job.
Criticism. I grew up in East Texas my whole life. Moved up to Melissa probably 8 years ago. Bought land in Blue Ridge about 4 years ago, and then my wife and I sold the house in Blue Ridge and have lived here almost a year and a half. Sorry, can you hear me now? There we go. So we lived here for over a year and a half. Reason I want to run for city council is because we like to be involved in the community. You see what Melissa's grown into. Growth is coming probably here whether we like it or not, but I think it should be in good hands, and it needs to be to the benefit of the people of Blue Ridge and no one outside of this. So I'm only 27 years old, so I'm going to come in, kind of get started early. Same with Linda, I would love to have kids and grandkids, and everyone grew up here as well. So thank you.
I'm Wendy Mattingly. I've lived here since 2001. This is where I wanted to retire. I did just retire last year, as a matter of fact. I have actually served on the city council 3 terms, probably about 10 years ago or so. And I was actually on the last P&Z committee that we had, so was Linda, as a matter of fact, until it was disbanded and never started back up again. I have a paralegal certificate. I've worked in real estate. I am used to research. I know documents. I reviewed a lot of documents that have been filed in the recent developments. Found a lot of errors, and that is the reason why I'm running, is we need to make sure that we're doing this slowly and responsibly and not turn into Princeton, Melissa, Frisco. I mean, it's coming, but we can keep it at a minimum and the way Blue Ridge has been and why people want to move here in the first place.
I want to point out that some of you might be wondering why is somebody in Collin GOP here? It's because we know. I'm in McKinney. Right out there, there's less than 50,000 people. There's now 250,000. Collin County has almost 1.5 million people. The growth is coming. It's unavoidable at this point. The question is how are you going to manage it? The Blue Ridge is, maybe not in the front lines, but you're definitely not the rear guard. It's coming. So, as a new council member, what are some of the priority items that you're going to want to look at and address in the first 2 or 3 council meetings come June and July of this year? When do you like to start?
Okay, the first couple of council meetings, there's 2 things that are the most important to me. Number 1, we need to get a city administrator. We need to we need to let that run for several weeks or even a couple of months. We need more than just one person applying and then hiring them. We need to vet them properly, which I don't think that was done. But we need the city administrator because of the way the city's growing. We need that kind of experience to lead us. Secondly, I want to look at these developments, the ones that are outside of town that were recently annexed. I'm very concerned about those. Like I said, that's what got me going in the first place. So we have tabled them from being, the development agreements being entered into at this point. However, that's not going to go away. What we need to do is take a fresh look at all the documentation, the application process, all of that, make sure it's done legally. If not, then we need to rescind that annexation and not be annexing property that's 10 miles away from the city where we can't provide the infrastructure, fire, police. I mean, we're not doing water, sewer, none of that. There's no reason to be annexing property that far away. We've got 3 new developments in town, actually in town, that's going to add over, I think it's 400 or 500 homes. The infrastructure on there, we need to take that money and use it, but to summarize, city manager or city administrator position and looking at these developments that are outside of town and how to stop them.
Yeah, so the first thing, if I get elected in, is sitting down and going over a development plan for Blue Ridge. Right now, the last one that's on the website was in 2012. We should have one that covers the next, 10 to 50 years. So, sitting down, coming with a plan of what we want Blue Ridge to look like. Then we need to open back up the city administrator position. We need to hire interview new candidates, go through an actual interview process, make sure that we get someone who's for the people of Blue Ridge and will fit the bill for what we want that to look like. And then going through, and big thing is infrastructure. We got to be able to make sure that these things we're annexing in, developing for, we got to have the means to be able to do that and handle that. So we got to start right here in Blue Ridge before we can start venturing out and taking care of other spots. Just getting in, we've got to figure out the direction Blue Ridge is going to go. It's kind of been a little washy from what I've heard, the past couple of years. So we got to get in, kind of clean stuff up, and get on the straight and narrow path.
I agree with everything that's been said. I would definitely be on board helping with all of that. I would be new to the city council, so I would need to understand our role. I would spend some time understanding what our duties are as a council person. I would also jump on the annexation that was done too quickly without enough information. If that is something that we could review and backpedal, basically, I would want to do that. I would also like to identify and align my priorities with that of the community. What are their concerns, and how do we move forward?
Okay. So I just want to clarify something. You're wanting all three, or two of the three of you brought up the city administrator. That's coincidentally the next question on the list here. How do you go about conducting interviews or locating a good city administrator? I understand you have a long-term administrator that's retiring, so you're going to have somebody step in, more than likely that's not even from the area, right? So how would you go about doing that? What would be maybe some of the qualifications or some of the concerns, or where would you look if given that thought?
So I kind of said it in the last topic, but yes, we need to open that position back up. I think they were kind of ready to rock and roll with the guy that had in place. We need to completely open that back up. We need to obviously post this on our website, post this to Indeed, whoever it needs to be, but then reach out. We've got a beautiful city out here. Let's get someone who's qualified and that would fit the bill and see what Blue Ridge has to offer to come in and offer the city.
I would recommend that we hire an outside firm to vet and interview, an initial interview, to give people just our towns that intersect with us now. We need to get this out statewide if we can. We need a competent firm that knows what to look for and how to interview to bring someone in. We owe it to our community to get the best, not the person who can just start tomorrow. And I feel like that's what happened prior to this.
Well, I agree with him. The position actually is on the website right now. It's been on there since they first decided it. What we had in place was a city secretary position, who has retired. The new position that the city council agreed to was a city administrator, which I do agree with that. We do need more experience, more qualifications, more education than what typically is required in a city secretary position. We need to vet. I agree with Linda. We need to, if it takes that, then we need to get an outside firm to find candidates for us to interview. And we need to interview more than one person. I mean, I really hope that we can get the candidates to interview, and somebody's going to do the best for the city of Blue Ridge and fit in with what our goals are as city council and town people.
Okay. So, obviously, the next question is going to be directly related to that. It's my understanding that the annexations that you referenced were approved unanimously by the prior council on recommendation of the outgoing secretary. Setting aside whatever concerns I might have about that, what are your thoughts on how you deal with that going forward? I know Wendy, you mentioned about checking the legalities of that. Do any of you have any thoughts on how you might unwind that, even if it was done legally? I know it's a bit of a stretch, but I mean,
if it was done legally, some of the things that we can do is we can tighten up our ordinances, zoning ordinances, building codes. I've looked at that concept plan for both properties, and they're going to be putting on, what they want to do is a mixed development. They want not only single-family homes, but they have townhomes that they want to put up, an apartment complex, retail, a school/mosque center, across the FM 2756, they want to put up a medical clinic and more retail. That doesn't jive with a residential subdivision. So I think there's ways that we can, if it is legal, that we can stop a lot of what they're planned to do. Also, I'm not sure if everybody knows this, I've done a little research. Several of those tracts of land are restricted, and you cannot build a religious facility at any time on it. So I think that needs to be, their plans need to be looked at very thoroughly. And if they're going to try and build any kind of mosque or school, that would come under the religious facility, and they would not be able to do that. Maybe if we put enough pressure on, they'll sell the property and go somewhere else.
Yeah, the biggest thing is, if we were to get in, we've got to go and actually see, number one, a lot of this was done, wasn't done correctly, and the biggest issue is, the reason we're asking this question is because there's no transparency. Now, there was actually no one went on, no one knows the communications that went on between our current city, or former city secretary, with those developments. It was voted unanimously yes by the current city council, but how much did they actually look into this and really realize what was coming? There's several of these going on in other cities throughout Texas. Governor Adams already got involved with it. The AD of Texas got involved with it. So whether something's happening with there or others, there's obviously something that's coming with these. And So really, we've got to get in, make sure this was done correctly. If it wasn't, then there's means to be able to walk that back. I don't know the legalities of it, but I definitely would like to get in and see what we can do to make sure this is done correctly. But the fact that I'm saying, be able to take care of that. How are we supposed to pull infrastructure 10 miles down the road when we're having issues right here? So we really got to get in, make sure this is done correct, and that we can actually handle that. And that brings up, we need a, city police station. We need a true fire department. We got to have the means to be able to support that type of community that's not far away.
As they said, I agree with all of that. It's my understanding it is zoned single family at this point, and I would be totally opposed to rezoning it any other way if they're asking of us to change the zoning so that they can have multifamily, stores, etc. My vote would be absolutely no. It needs to stay a single family if in fact it was all done correctly.
Okay. So the next question again follows that. So what would be your long-term vision for Blue Ridge, and how do you plan to protect the city from special interests, like perhaps the situation that you're dealing with right now? Because I can only assume how he was talking.
I think I would be very, not think, I know, I'd be very diligent in reading the contracts, making sure that we are doing what's best for Blue Ridge. We align the growth to meet our needs and our community. We are a small community. We will not be in 5, 10, 20 years from now. We will grow, but it needs to be done responsibly. I see us as just a more prosperous version of what we are now.
Yes, growth is coming. I brought it up earlier. 5 years ago, Melissa was 70% of what it was, and it quadrupled in 5 years. Not saying that's necessarily going to happen to Blue Ridge, but it needs to be handled in a proper way to make sure that it is built to meet the needs of the people of Blue Ridge, city, ECJ, or if you have a Blue Ridge address. It does not need to meet the needs for anyone else that does not qualify for that. We need to make sure that things are coming into the city are going to bring tax revenue for us. They're going to be actual needs. We don't need amphitheaters and shopping malls and all of that. That's not what Blue Ridge is for. It's not why we moved here. We need stuff that's realistic for us that we can use, hardware stores, banks, that type of stuff. That this doesn't need to be another mechanic in the next 20 years.
Like I said before, and everybody else, we all know it, growth is coming. And we can do it in increments, with due diligence, not rush into things. One of my things that I would like to institute pretty quickly is we need to get a P&Z commission board up and running. That's 7 citizens inside the city of Blue Ridge that will take on the responsibility of reviewing developments, the application process. It should not be just boom into the city council making these decisions. We need a P&Z board. With that, the way they've been conducting the hearings, the public hearings for these annexations, rezonings, I would definitely want to change that and make it 2 different nights. I don't think we need to have a public hearing. We adjourn that public hearing, go into a new public hearing, we adjourn that, and then we go into a meeting, and then we vote on all that. That's all. I mean, I want things to slow down so we can have eyes on it, so the citizens in the city can find out what's going on. So we can all work together leading our city, not just the people on city council, but everybody in the city. And I'm so glad everybody is here and has been interested in what's going on now.
with my swag would be about 20 of you. Sound fair? I was told in the last election a little over 200 people voted. So 10% of the voters are here. Congratulations. So the next question I'm going to jump to has to do with how do you get more citizen engagement, and how do you plan on encouraging that once you're elected?
Okay. I think we've made a start. We had a meet and greet, or a meeting, a couple of community meeting, organized by Alex and Sabrina. And we had over 100 people attend. There's been a lot of information and a lot of chat on Facebook. So I think we've got people interested. We have to continue that interest and expand that interest. I think we need to have more things on the square. That would be probably our 4B board that does that. And that's another thing I would like to encourage people, not only P&Z, but to be on the 4B and definitely on the economic board, because right now, I think all 5 city council members sit on that board, and I do not want to sit on that board. I think it should be citizens sitting on that board. Social media is a great thing. We do seem to be bringing in a little bit more business, so that's also going to help people talk to their neighbors. I encourage all of you to spread the word about the meeting tonight, urge people to vote. I know I'm going to be out doing some block walking next week, hoping to meet a lot more people, and this is a great start. We're making a start.
I believe I was told this was the first actual election we've had in 20 years in Blue Ridge. So I think just the fact that we've got 3 open spots, 5 of us running, and 1 of those is an incumbent, is a huge start to getting people involved in the city. You saw at the city council meeting that we had last, there was over probably, 250 people at a city council meeting. When's the last time that's been done? So I think, it took to this point to get the people out, and I think if we get a good, strong Blue Ridge, which it already is, and get people proud of the city, as a city council and the city administrator, everyone, to make sure news is out there, make sure people know what's going on in Blue Ridge. That's going to get people involved. Well, times things happen. I mean, how many people didn't even know about the night? And that wasn't anything on our part. We did what we could, but it's just let's have the news out there. Let's have stuff going on. And I think that's really going to get people involved in Blue Ridge and keep it growing to where these things happen.
I do feel like social media at this point is the guide that we should go with. Most people like social media, they're on there all the time. Perhaps we could have a page of our own that's just dedicated to Blue Ridge politics and community involvement. I feel like we could create a text messaging system to remind people that we have these meetings, that we have things going on in our community. We get them for late bills, we can get them for everything else. We need to use our resources, technical resources, more, I feel. And like you said, this is definitely, Facebook, I believe, has brought all of us together, with Barbara doing a fantastic job with getting the word out of what is going on in our community, and I feel like people are going to continue to become involved because they see what happens when you don't be involved.
So a follow-up question. I'm sure you are familiar with the Blue Ridge City website. Do you have any suggestions for improvement for that website?
I think we've all talked about this, it's very difficult to find your representatives on that website. I feel that each city council person should have a short bio of themselves and a contact information. If it's a city website, city council member. We should not have to go through 15 steps to reach someone. It should be an automatic link, click on it, and email who you're needing to speak with. That's one of the things I would want to see implemented immediately.
The city website needs to be updated for it looks like it was made in the 90s and no one's done anything with it since. So I brought up to the city development, the last thing they had is for 2012. So as a whole, as a city, I mean, this is one thing I can say is good about McKinney. They've got everything there. You can find everything that you could possibly need. For ours, it's like a puzzle if the information's even there once you get there. So that needs to be updated. We need news alerts on there. I got a huge pop-up blocker that they're going to put late fees on my water bill if I don't pay them by 5. I logged in yesterday. So if they can do that, we can get some updates going to actually have some easily accessible information. Everything that should be on there, across the board should be on there. City council meetings, everything, all the information that should be on there needs to be updated, needs to get up to date with where we're at today.
I agree with both of them, especially Linda with the transparency. I think every city council member needs to have contact information, email, phone number, not have to go through the city and wait for them to read an email and forward it to somebody else. They may not get it in time. You need timely response, and you don't have that through that website right now. There's other things that do need to be added to it. I'm not a tech person, but I do know I have trouble finding my way around that website. And it's really kind of simple. There's not much on it. We need to update practically everything.
I think you all touched on this briefly, but I'm going to ask the question, perhaps we can just make it like a yes or no. So we talked about the developer contracts and different things put before the city. Would it be your intention to actually read those documents yourself, or simply rely on the city attorney or city administrator?
I think I've made it pretty clear that I have done a lot of research myself on these documents, and I'm not even on city council. And I think it's been pretty clear that the current city council doesn't do that. Or how can they're not doing due diligence. So my answer is a big yes, I'm going to take the time to do everything myself, do my own research before I make up my mind, and not depend upon the city administrator or city attorney, which I think we need to look into getting a new law firm.
I'll second the motion on the new law firm. Sorry, what was the question?
Are you putting that?
Oh, yes, yeah, that's an easy yes, obviously, yeah. So, obviously, if you're going to be on city council, it's more than just going to a meeting every, once a month on a Tuesday and saying, yes, no, all that. I mean, you've got to know what you're getting into. This is not, we do work part-time, but this is a full-time job when it comes to going in and actually looking over this stuff. Now, at the same time, we do need a good city administrator who's going to do their job and present us with the facts, present us with what's been laid out and what's coming. That way we can take that information, read it over ourselves, do our own study, and then we can all come to a great conclusion together.
Obviously, the answer is yes, I would do my due diligence. But I would also do both. I would also get their input. I want to know what the city attorney has to say, and if I have questions, I feel like I want to go to this person and get the correct answers. I'm not sure that we would get that with our current attorney, to be honest with you. I feel like they've given some very bad advice to our council. So I would definitely want to hire a new attorney for our town. But I would do both. I would get their guidance and their suggestions, but I would know the contract. I would read it and have my own questions to ask as well.
Okay, I'm going to You all kind of talked about how everything's out of date, and the comprehensive plan was from 2012. So, what would you envision Blue Ridge looking at in 10 or 20 years? And while you're envisioning that, do you find a way to increase the revenue of the city government to pay for the things that are needed without also bankrupting or pricing out your current residents? How might you go about doing that?
So unfortunately, the only way to do that without really raising the taxes on citizens is to bring in businesses. But like I said earlier, we can do that by bringing in stuff that is going to be helpful and would make sense for Blue Ridge. Like I said, we don't need an amphitheater, we don't need a mall, we don't need crazy city stuff. If I'm going to do that, I can drive 25 minutes to the campus, not a problem. But bringing in certain businesses like that is going to drive tax revenue for us. Getting new infrastructure in that's going to actually be able to hold and house everything that we have for this. Number one, will save us money because we're all paying an impact fee off the butt, let's say it that way. And just getting that stuff together that way, as growth comes, that tax revenue is going towards the city, and that's not necessarily having to come out of the citizens' pockets.
I would like to see Blue Ridge much as it is today. I understand growth is coming, but we are a small-bill, tight-knit group, and I want to keep Blue Ridge a tight-knit group. We love our neighbors, we love our community. We need the growth, and in order to get our tax base up, we're going to have to bring in businesses, like Trent said. But in order to attract businesses, we're going to need our buildings to look like businesses want to come here. We need to have strong, what word am I looking for? We need to have strong ordinances. We don't build cheap. We need, we get all over and stuff, but we just need to bring in growth, residential growth, in order to expand in order to get businesses to come here. We can only do that by ensuring that we're building the best product for our community.
Okay, so apparently,
I better let you.
Yes, please follow up that with something else.
Okay, the way to do that is, yes, we're going to have to get some commercial business, retail, that type of thing. The comprehensive plan should include that. We know that the square is small and it's not going to facilitate a whole bunch of buildings down there. We've got a few ones that they could be cleaned up and used for various things. But I think our main business focus needs to be down on 78. That makes a whole lot more sense than having all of that inside. I really would like to have input from the citizens as to what they really would like to see here and what they don't want to see here, and see if there's some way we can go after that. I know we've got to have the customer base for some of these things to move out here, but I don't think we really want McDonald's or all the other big franchise type restaurants and retail that we can go, like Trent said, to McKinney, 25 minutes away. So we need to expand that, look into that, and include that in our comprehensive plan. And get the taxes.
okay, so I'm reading here that Blue Ridge also has Farmersville ISD and Princeton ISD as one of the districts that services Blue Ridge. So my understanding is that's all determined by the state, but how would you like to see that changed? Is there a way that you Or are you just think you're still stuck dealing with whatever the state's going to let you do? Do you have any thoughts on that? I'm not sure that it's pertinent to city council, but it's on the list.
I really don't believe having 2 or 3 different ISDs in Blue Ridge city limits is an issue. We currently allow transfer students in our school district. We have people from Trenton, Melissa, coming here now. I really don't see how the city gets involved in that aspect. We're going to support the town of Blue Ridge is going to support Blue Ridge ISD. Town of Princeton is going to support Princeton ISD, etc. So I really don't see this as a concern for our town.
Okay. We're going to try this as a yes or no question. I think it's going to be pretty simple. Do you support any high-density residency in Blue Ridge?
Well, I think it's more than a yes and no. Not high density, but we do, when I think of high density, I think of these great big huge complexes that are going up that are 500-600 units. We do need a place for our young people to move into. So I think it could be limited to very small apartment complexes or a senior living facility. That's what I think of as high density, and that's going to be my definition of it. If you're going to add anything larger than 20 units, I'm going to say no to that. I don't think that's what we want in this town. We don't have the infrastructure, the police, or the fire to support something like that.
The last thing I want to see coming from Melissa Blue Ridge is an apartment complex. So no is the answer to that. I want well-built neighborhoods, and if that's the growth that's coming, let's try to do it that way. That's going to bring families, taxpayers, all that stuff that's going to go to the city. We don't need to fill this place up with apartment complexes and condos and townhomes and all that. That's going to do us no good.
I would not support a high-density apartment complex here. I feel like they do provide the community with resources for singles, small families, etc. But that's not our community. I don't feel at this point. It would tax our school systems and it would tax our infrastructure, and that is just not a Blue Ridge agenda item, I believe.
Okay. In your opinion, is there any other additional pressing issue or concern that the residents or the citizens of the city of Blue Ridge might have that they have not already addressed?
From the people I've spoke with, roads are an issue here in Blue Ridge. They need to be repaired. We all understand that, but I don't feel like this time we have the budget, perhaps, to fix everything that wants to be fixed. I think kind of a workaround of that would be these developers that are wanting to build in our community needs to put some money up to repair our roads. We're having more people come in because of these communities, and they need to pay something to help us prepare for the new traffic that we're going to have in town and going down our roads. I feel like they need to put some money up to help us repair our road systems.
If you didn't see my video, we also should fix the roads. So, but no, we need to do everything correctly. We need to worry about building Blue Ridge as it is currently, making sure it's strong and good, and that way, whatever comes after it will just fall into place. I love Blue Ridge. I love the downtown. I love the small shops that we have. Let's build them up. Let's give them help. Let's give them grants to help that grow and to clean up their places, to redo their places, to get it to where it looks like a beautiful city, and just really drive home what we already have, getting that good, and then getting the roads fixed, getting infrastructure fixed, and then that way when growth starts to trickle in, we're ready and prepared for that.
One of the things I think we really need to do is make sure our city employees have resources and the training that they need. I'm not sure what our public works department, the background experience level. I say this because my husband was director of public works for the town of Little Elm. He retired about 5 years ago. And I get a lot of my public works information, well, all of my public works information from my husband. He's guided me a lot, and I think that's something that we really need to stress. We need to have the resources and training for our people. If we need to hire more people, that's what we need to do, but they will be the ones that will be repairing the roads. We will get money from the developers that come in, and one of the things going on right now, we've got several developments, and I'm not sure that the city is really inspecting and watching what they are doing, just like you said about turning up our roads. They're supposed to be very careful about that when they pull out of these additions that they're working on, so that they're not pulling a bunch of mud and rocks and all of that. And the city needs to step up and do what they need to do, what they should be doing on these kind of inspections before we ever bring any more in. We've got to get the training done for our people.
Okay, that's something I'm going to change up a little bit for you here. City council is a deliberative body. You have people that come to speak to you. So there would be some kind of parliamentary procedure or perhaps Robert's rules that would be utilized for them to do that. Purpose being that everybody gets to be heard in an appropriate way. Do you have any familiarity with how that works currently? And if not, are you willing to bone up on that before you take office?
Okay, I got a little bit of experience here. I am a precinct chair for the Blue Ridge area. I've been that since 2019. So I attend meetings, and we, have to go through motions and amendments, and so I understand Robert's rules. I'm not an expert by any means. I do have a lot of resources, but I'm certainly also willing to learn more and get the experience and make sure that things run properly, procedurally, and the right way, and that everybody is on the same page. The entire council needs to be on there. I know we do some training when she gets sworn in. You're required to do some training, and I think we need to continue training where we can and never stop learning.
I've never been on city council. I'm only 27 years old. Am I an expert at that? Absolutely not. But it's definitely something that I will learn. I'm already started doing some research on it. I've been to several city council meetings, see how they hold it. So yeah, obviously I'll need to learn and do more studying up on that to make sure we're good to go once we get to council.
I'm familiar with the basis of the rule, however, I'll be the study partner. We're going to have to learn as we go, kind of, but yes, I am willing to learn it. I do not know it at this point, other than just the general guidelines, but it is something that we would have to learn.
Okay, so we have about 9 minutes left, which give you each 3 minutes for your closing remarks, and perhaps giving out any kind of contact information you might like to share. So who would like to begin?
If you would like to be into city council, I'm here to work for y'all. Big thing with Blue Ridge has been transparency. I want to make sure y'all have every speck of information, news, anything that you can need going forward with stuff. I would encourage y'all to go to city council meetings, that way y'all are involved. I hope that y'all come and speak, because I would love to hear it. I want to do what y'all want to do. Obviously, I have my wants and needs, but there is a lot more people here than just me. And so if I can get majority on board with a certain thing, then let's do that if that makes everyone happy. I would never want to do something that everyone's against. I mean, what good is that to anyone else? So really just pushing transparency through the city and really listening to the citizens of Blue Ridge and making sure everything that we do is to benefit and help us and no one outside of the city. I'd like to be here for a long time, as I said earlier. That's why I'm running for city council, so I want to get involved and make sure that this is in good hands and it's driven in a good direction. And so if you vote for me, I'll cut through the BRBS.
If you vote for me, I will also be there for you. I feel like our town has been run by one person for far too long without the input of who really matters, and that is us, the citizens. We need to do a better job, as Trent said, being transparent. Everything needs to be above board, and that has not happened in this town, I feel, in a very long time. We've allowed one person to run our town, and that really is our own fault, because we did not participate. We thought we were electing the best people for the job and that they would have our best interests, but what we failed to realize is that they were being told what to do by one person that did not have our best interests at heart. We need to do a better job as a community, standing up, attending, and basically running our own town, because that has not happened. And we need to allow that to happen. And the only way we can do that is for each and every one of us to stand up and be there all the time. Not just at the meetings, but every single day. Otherwise, the Blue Ridge we know will not be the Blue Ridge our grandchildren will grow up in.
Okay, if you elect me, you're going to get transparency. You're going to get a person that's going to do due diligence, who's not going to agree just to agree. Go along to get along. That's the I'm not that person. When I was on council before, if you go back and look at some of the old minutes, you'll see I was the only person that did not vote for something. I wanted things explained to me, and if I didn't agree with it, I didn't have a problem saying, I don't agree with this, and I'm not going to vote for it. You won't get that with me. I will be one that's going to look at everything. I swear we were the same person, the three of us. I mean, we were so much in agreement, and this is the reason why we all ran, is we don't like what we've seen happening in our city. We were complacent. I am just as guilty of that, and I'm ashamed of myself for doing that. I am angry at myself for waiting this long and not knowing what was going on, thinking that the people that were up there had this city in its best interest, and it has not been the case. My plan is I want to serve one term, 2 years. I want to get things set up so that the next set of people that come on board know what to do. I'm also, like I said earlier, I'm retired, and I think this is, when I was on city council before, I was working, and I probably didn't give it as all, but I've got the time now, and I can put in a lot more information, and I want to hear from the people that live here what you want me to do for you.
I believe I've got 2 minutes, so if you'll indulge me.
Okay.
Your involvement means everything. You've got 3 good candidates that are working their tails off to represent you better than what you previously been represented. All they're asking from you, right here, right now, is your involvement, your interest, your understanding. Maybe maybe later, give her some money or some support, or to go hand out literature, or to go poultry. But those are all the things that need to be done. 220 people may very well determine the fate of your city. And with the 20 of you here, if each one of you has 5 or 10 people that you know personally, that you can drag to the polls, you alone can change the outcome. Inform the destiny of Blue Ridge. That ship has sailed for the big four in Collin County. We're on a roll of earth if we don't get up and do something. And you have that opportunity. Seize that moment. You have good quality candidates here that have stuck their neck out to do this. And you have one that's already said, hey, look, I'm going to prepare my successor because I'm only going to do this to get us to the next step. What more could you want? We don't need another Nancy Pelosi. We don't need somebody that fills their pants up for their entire life. This is your opportunity. Please seize the day. Do what you can. Every little bit makes a huge difference. And they'll be around afterwards to speak with. If you have some burning questions that we did not address, that'll be the time. They would love to spend time with you and talk to you about the future of Blue Ridge. Thank you, Barbara. I appreciate your time.
Thank you all for coming tonight and speaking, and thank you so much for running. Thank you, Stephen, for moderating. There was a couple of things I was remiss about. Could you put the slide back that was on there a moment ago, please? Okay, so anyway, what we're here today to talk about is the election, of course. And early voting starts next week. It starts April 22nd through the 29th, so you can go vote. Election day is May 3rd. The only place that they're doing polling, you can go to the polling station in Blue Ridge, is at the Blue Ridge ISD admin building, and it's at 318 West School Street. But also, what I wanted to say, and I meant to say this earlier when we introduced the candidates, is there's actually 5 candidates running, not 3. But the other 2 chose not to be here tonight. But I do want you to know that there are 2 more candidates. There's Dennis Davis and Tammy Crosswhite, who is an incumbent. And but they, whatever reason, I don't know the reasons, but they're not here tonight. So I just wanted to let you know that there are 5 candidates. The other thing I wanted to mention is our council, we're concerned about this annexation. This is what brought everybody out to start coming to the council meetings. I just want to say on record right now, we don't blame them for what they've done. We've forgiven them. What we want to do is get our new council to work with them directly to fix these problems. Because we feel like possibly they were railroaded into a decision that they didn't have all the facts, essentially. They didn't have all the facts. So now they can work with the new council and we can fix some of these problems. I really think that there's a possibility we can walk back some of these decisions that were made about the annexation. So I just want you to know that we're willing to work, and I think each of you are willing to work with the existing council. So we're extending a lot of grace to them because we all are human. We all make mistakes, okay? So I think that we can fix this problem and go forward and have a great Blue Ridge. The other thing is that I just wanted to mention is notifications about meetings and hearings. Where I'm not seeing them, and we need to make sure we fix that. We've got to fix that so that we know. The other option is focus groups. Perhaps we can get the business owners in Blue Ridge to come together in a little committee and give y'all some ideas on what they would like to see happen in Blue Ridge, as well as the developers that are already here, have a focus group with them, and a focus group with citizens. And then that way we'll determine what type of commercial growth we need. So with that said, again, thank you for each of you coming tonight and speaking. And we just make it fun. We have a few door prizes, and I need somebody to bring me the bowl. Actually, don't bring it to me. I'm going to have somebody else pick the. Did everybody get a ticket when they came out? And the way we're going to work this, the door prizes, is as we call the number, the first person the number is called gets to choose anything on the table. The second person gets to choose, it's kind of like the white elephant, right? So whatever's left on the table, the second person gets that choice, the third person gets that choice, until all the gifts are gone. So, let's see. I'd like to see is Alex still here? Are your kids still here? Or no? No? Okay. So, I guess I'll let Evelyn then maybe choose the ticket. Although we did, sound that's right, Evelyn did. No, I think I'll let Stephen. We gave you a ticket, right? So
Yeah, she did.
So, you'll do the honors.
Okay.
Okay.
Ticket number 23852-026. 026.
Is anyone here with that number? Okay, I should have told people you forfeit your prize if you're not here. Was that your number? Okay, you get the first pick of the prizes. Could somebody count how many prizes are there? I think it's like 6 or 7, isn't there?
All right, next up. 23852-011. 011.
Okay, you won the prize. You can go get the second prize.
I'm going to assume the first 5 are the same on all these tickets. We're just going to read the last 3. 013. 013. All right. Winner.
013. Also, I wanted to say that some of the prizes were donated by some local businesses. One is Pro Source Firearms. No, I'm sorry, it's not a new rifle, but they're located over in Farmersville on the square. Pro Source Firearms. I believe that they donated maybe some kind of patriotic socks and a t-shirt, but you need to go visit their firearms store in Farmersville. Another gift card that we received today was a brand new restaurant that just opened in Farmersville. I think it was called Yellow Burrows, and it's a burrito place on the square. They donated a gift card to the restaurant. And then another gift card we received, I believe Wendy donated it, and it's for Kroger, and it's a $25 gift card.
All right. 008. 008.
Alex, how many gifts do we have up? 9?
Okay.
Wow, you better keep going on these numbers.
029. 029.
029? Okay, you get the next bit.
002.
002. And you get the next bit.
Junebug.
Oh, 007.
007. Okay, you get to pick the next gift at the table.
I'm sorry, Mr. Pottery is not available now.
And like I said, it's just going into the words, and you can pick which one you want, that's left on the table.
001.
001.
It's you, Angel.
Okay, Alex, how many gifts do you have left? We have 5 over by the registration table, and please sign the petition if you're interested in de-annexing the development.
028, 028.
We have two left.
Okay, put those on my back.
Zero 019.
Okay, that should be the last one right there, 019. Thank you. And if y'all will please stay, we have coffee in the back, we have snacks, we have popcorn, we have ice water, so you can visit with the candidates. Thank you.
Okay, there we go. My timing's off.
And please don't forget to go vote.